thanks for coming. I'm pleased you can join me. Especially since it must have been such a long journey to this coffee shop in such a remote, rural little town. I know it looks a bit empty, but this is actually quite busy for our local standards. But I know you didn't come here just to talk about how a little coffee shop is doing. You wanted the info on the lead I mentioned to you, right? About the vampire? Now just to make sure again, you are serious, aren't you? When I first caught wind of you, that you were some self-proclaimed vampire hunter, I'll admit, it was kinda hard to take at face value. Anyone would assume you're just some sort of role player, especially with how popular vampires are in media. So, you'll have to overlook my skepticism. Fortunately for you, I know that vampires do, in fact, exist. I've seen them. That's why I was able to take you seriously. Well, somewhat seriously anyways. The thing is, vampires are very powerful. And however powerful you think they are, they're 10 times more than that. From lifting cars all the way over their heads, to running quickly enough to catch up to motorcycles, to shrugging off bullets. There's a lot they can do, and I'm not so sure there's much you can do against them. So, enough from me. What is it that you actually intend to do? What's your plan? How are you going to stop them? Because, if I'm being honest, I don't really see much of a way you can face them. You have to try anyway. You're not a very good vampire hunter, are you? Seriously, what are you going to do? Say, for instance, I was a vampire. What would you do against me? How would you stop me? Do you have some sort of magic bullet? Some sort of holy water in a water gun or something? Oh, you need to get something from your bag. That's it. That little thing. A crossbow that shoots a wooden stake. Is this a joke? You've barely even sharpened that thing. It's so dull. Saying you're not a very good hunter is a bit of an understatement. Oh well, at least it's kind of cute. There really is nothing you could do against me, is there? What do I mean by that? Oh, now you're catching on. You see, normally I'd just tease you and just give you a subtle hint. But I think that might actually go over your dumb little head. So, I'll just say it plainly. Why do you think I invited you all the way out here to the middle of nowhere? Sounds a lot like a trap, doesn't it? Like one a vampire might pull. I had assumed you were just coming along anyway, knowing it was a trap, with some sort of ace up your sleeve. But it seems you actually were just that clueless. Now, if you haven't caught along yet, I am a vampire. Ooh, look at you freeze up. What happened to all that? I have to try anyway. Talk earlier. You're adorable. Oh, do you think I'm not gonna do anything to you simply because we're in public and I'm unarmed? Oh, you poor, poor thing. You really do underestimate me. Right. Everyone, get out. Bye-bye. Stand by the doors and windows. Now, it's just you and me. Surprised? They're my thralls. You see, everyone in this town is my thrall. Well, other than you. For now. We'll see how you behave. Oh, I wouldn't run if I were you, by the way. I could sprint to the end of the room before you've even left your seat. In fact, I don't even need to sit up to take you out. I could throw a coin with enough force to wound you, and with enough precision to hit a bird even in flight. So, why don't you stay seated, and we'll have a little talk. It's been so long since I've had some good company to talk to. The thralls aren't very interesting. Nothing in this sleepy little town is. Other than you, of course. It just so happens that I've known about you for far, far longer than just before I contacted you. A vampire has to look out for their own safety, after all. I may be immortal, but you don't live for as long as I do, without keeping tabs on all potential threats. And I suppose, maybe, in a cute sort of way, you kind of count as a threat. Well, okay, not really. You have proven yourself to be quite toothless. It's actually kind of charming. It's nostalgic in a way. There aren't many vampire hunters these days. You see, no one believes in us anymore. Much to their detriment. I think you might be the only one. You're intriguing. I haven't had any real entertainment in decades. Fighting vampire hunters was the only real spice in my life. But they're all gone now. Except for you. You remind me of the time my life actually had some thrill in it. And true, you're not particularly skilled. Once again, it's an understatement. But that's actually quite fitting. It adds to the nostalgia. The other hunters, how do I say this, weren't especially competent either. They kept on getting scammed by con men selling fake holy water. And it's because of that nostalgia that the highlight of my lonely nights was all about watching you. Watching you go on about your day, scouring the internet inefficiently for leads on vampires, going to all the wrong websites, asking questions to all the wrong people. Absolutely adorable. Not that I was stalking you in a romantic way. I can assure you, it was just in a tactical sort of way, to keep an eye on you, to see what ways you might threaten me. I promise. Really. That aside, I have taken interest in you. bask in the honor. So, without further ado, you are mine now. Here, take my hand. We'll be going to my estate, and I'm sure even if it was next door, you'd get lost without me holding your hand. You're honestly pointing that little toy at me. You know it's not going to do anything, right? I could shrug off getting hit by a truck. Your dull little stick isn't going to be very good at penetrating me. But I'll tell you what. If you'd like, I can expose my chest. Give you a clear shot, straight to my heart. Just so you can see how futile it really is. But seriously, your resistance is pointless. You're in front of a vampire in a town consisting exclusively of their thralls. You're done. Give up. Well, I do have to say, I kind of admire it. That you're willing to throw your life away facing me. But what about the lives of your loved ones? Your friends? Your family? That's right. I've been watching you this entire time. I know everything about you. I know who you spend your time with, who you talk to, who you laugh with. And oh, I really hate it when you talk with others. So, it wouldn't be much of an issue for me if I removed them from the picture. And if you refused me, if you rejected my kind and generous offer to take you in, well, to be honest, it's a demand. But if you reject me, I wonder just how far my retaliation would reach. Now that's what I like to see. The sight of you putting your hands up in surrender. It makes me want to bite down on your neck right now. I'll have to restrain myself though. Right now, I'm eager enough to crush it. And I don't want to do that. You're going to give me so much entertainment after all. You're the only interesting thing in my life. It would be a shame if yours were cut short. Which reminds me, your pitifully short human lifespan may be a bit of an issue. I suppose I'll have to turn you. Maybe. If you behave enough, I'll consider it. In fact, if you behave enough, I might even let you see your loved ones. I could keep them here as my thralls. But enough about that. We should head home. I know it's just about time for you to watch your favorite show, and I will give you the privilege of watching it with me.